We've all seen the Marvel movies, super strength, super speed, super aim. But did you know that these abilities actually exist in real world people? In this video, we're going to go through 4 diseases that give superhuman powers. My name's Sermed, I'm a doctor, I make videos about health. Hit subscribe if you're into it. The first one is Urbache Wiethe Disease, or otherwise known as lipoid proteinosis. There was one lady named SM, just to keep confidential, that was studied by researchers in the University of Iowa and published in 2011. This lady seemed a little bit strange compared to her peers. When put into a certain room, she would actually try and touch poisonous snakes. And she would even laugh when she was in a haunted house and something jumped out at her. Sometimes try and touch it on the face. And the most disturbing of all is that she recollects a time where she was attacked by a knife-wielding man and almost died as a result, and then just walked away rather than running. So researchers were very interested to see exactly what caused this. And basically the disease had caused calcium deposits to be put in her amygdala, which is an area in your brain that regulates fear. Another famous person who's been known to have these fearless abilities is someone called Alex Honnold, who's a professional climber. He set his dream at climbing one of the highest mountains in the US, El Capitan, 4,000-foot mountain, with no ropes attached. So he actually does this in the movie Free Solo. Just take a look. Now, when researchers looked into his brain, they found that his amygdalas were there, but just not activating.
I've had several ex-girlfriends say that I had like personality disorders or things like that. There's something wrong with me. Is my brain intact?
Your brain's intact, and it's quite interesting. Those little 2 dots that are further towards the top of the screen, that's the amygdala. So an interesting thing, you have no activation in your amygdala.
There's just not much going on in my brain, it seems.
So it seems like he had managed to do a similar thing to what SM had done, but via natural conditioning, just years and years of increasing the stimulation to his amygdala. And by doing that, he actually reduced the sensitivity of it, that it only really activates when he's doing something most of us would find jaw-droppingly scary. You can think of it like reducing the sensitivity of your mouse. So when asked if he actually does experience fear, he says that indeed he does, but he's just learned to accept it. It's just like what Woody Allen would say, there are worse things in life than experiencing fear. Have you ever spent an evening with an insurance salesman? Next on our list of superpower-inducing diseases is Hyperthymesia, or highly superior autobiographical memory, HSAM. Basically, what this does is it allows people to remember everything, all of their past experiences. One person with this condition actually remembered the time when she was 7, not years old, not weeks old, but days old, and was wearing a pink nappy. So people with this were researched back in 2017 in a paper published by Aurora et al. And what they found is that this memory was actually limited to their own past and they weren't able to process other people's lives. You may think this is cool, but unless you live a life like self-proclaimed genius, playboy, philanthropist, billionaire Tony Stark, then you may not want to look so deep into your own past. That's because us ordinary people actually reprocess memories of our past based on how we feel about them. People with hyperthymesia can't do that. So if they experience any past trauma, they actually keep on living it, like in an infinite loop. Sounds more like the Iceland than the Iron Man kind of cool, doesn't it? Number 3 on our list is one of the most interesting and strange diseases known to mankind, and I am not exaggerating that. Wait till you hear it. It's actually one of the ones that I wish I had from this list. So it is actually called Myostatin Related Muscle Hypertrophy, and basically in the year 2000 a German boy named Liam Hoekstra was born, and people noticed that he was unusually strong. At just 4.5 years old, he could do the iron cross, which is a skill that gymnastics professionals take years to learn, and it's actually unlikely you would even meet anyone in your gym who could do it. Other people in this kid's family were known to be strong, but not as much as this child. When they did some studies, they found that his thigh circumference was 7 standard deviations above the mean of his cohort, and he had 3.5 times less body fat to match it as well. So our favorite bros who are chugging protein shakes and eating chicken breasts are probably killing themselves for what this kid just was given naturally. After doing genetic tests on the child, they realized that he had 2 genes that were mutated, which coded for the myostatin protein. It's a member of a family of proteins that regulates the growth of muscle so that they don't become too large. Now, since he had a deficiency of that protein, his muscles actually could keep expanding despite him not even training to a level that an athlete would and him still having the strength to compete. Sadly, his parents wanted him to live a private life, so we could not follow him and see how he progressed into his teen and is now 21 years of age. But undoubtedly, he's probably out there saving the world from the shadows. Scientists have tried to recreate the effects of the condition to try and help people with muscle wasting diseases by creating drugs that inhibit myostatin, but sadly, they have not been able to do so with any good effects in clinical trial. The last on our list is Polymelia. Now, imagine having arms like Dr. Octavia from Spider-Man or Machamp from Pokemon. Well, with Polymelia, that is exactly what you get. You get extra limbs, could be arms, could be legs. Now, there are multiple reasons why these could occur. One of them is that when someone is due to become a monozygotic twin, that means that from one fertilized egg, they were going to split into 2 separate eggs with the same DNA. But that divide doesn't actually happen fully. Then that can lead to polymelia. And so the child, when they're born, they actually have full use of the extra limbs. And even though it's actually very easy to take off one of these limbs, some people with this condition choose not to have them off because they actually find it more practical to keep them on, and also because of the ideology around people with extra limbs. In some cultures, the extra limbs are even seen as being a sign of an icon or a god. Either way, you probably don't want to get into a boxing match with someone with polymelia. It could get out of hand very quickly. I hope you've enjoyed the video. That is it for it. If you have, you do not need 3 arms to drop me a like just down there. That's right, I see it. Thumbs up. And that will help to propel this video to a wider audience so that they can know about the potential we have to become superhuman. Hope you're enjoying it, and I will see you in the next video published later this week. Take care, peace out, and watch out.